The warning lights paint her face red. Emergency systems scream through the cockpit. Lieutenant Olivia Kaine's hands move across the controls, steady despite the chaos building around her. 300 miles offshore, a cargo plane is going down. 8 souls aboard. 40 minutes of fuel left, maybe less. Captain Novak's voice cuts through her headset. Sharp. Final. Negative on the rescue attempt, Kaine. Weather's deteriorating. Wind shear at 60 knots. You'll kill yourself and accomplish nothing. She watches the radar. The storm is a wall of red and orange, rotating, hungry. The downed aircraft sits in the center. A pocket of relative calm that won't last. Behind her, through the operations center windows, she can see them gathering, the senior officers, the mission commanders, all watching, all waiting for her to stand down. Captain, those people have less than an hour. Her voice stays level, professional, but her hand is already moving to the throttle. I'm aware of the timeline, Lieutenant. Novak's tone drops 10 degrees. I'm also aware that we don't sacrifice pilots for lost causes. The rescue window has closed. She thinks of the distress call. The co-pilot's voice, trying to stay calm. Trying to keep his crew from panicking. She thinks of her own training. 2,000 hours in the Seahawk. 5 years of rescues that everyone said couldn't be done. She's built her career on impossible odds. Respectfully, Captain, I disagree with your assessment. Silence. The operations center goes quiet. She can feel the weight of it through the radio, through the walls, through the 100 yards of tarmac between her helicopter and the tower. Lieutenant Kaine. Each word drops like a hammer. If you spool up that aircraft, your career is over. Do you understand me? She understands. She understands that 8 people are dying while they debate protocol. She understands that the storm won't wait for committee approval. She understands that she's the only pilot on base with the skill set to thread this needle, and that everyone knows it, and that they're still going to let those people die because the paperwork doesn't authorize the risk. Her hand closes on the throttle. The turbines begin their ascending whine. Kaine! Novak's voice explodes through the headset. You are ordered to stand down! Do you hear me? Stand down! She pulls the headset off, drops it on the co-pilot's seat. The tower will be scrambling now. Novak will be red-faced, screaming orders. Security will be mobilizing. None of it matters. By the time they reach the flight line, she'll be airborne. The Seahawk lifts. Smooth, clean. She feels the crosswind immediately, testing her, pushing the aircraft sideways. She corrects without thinking. Muscle memory and mathematics. The base drops away beneath her. Behind her, she imagines the chaos, the fury, the career-ending reports already being drafted. Ahead, the storm wall rises like a mountain range made of rain and lightning. She pushes the stick forward, accelerates into the teeth of it. The edge hits like a physical blow. The Seahawk bucks, drops 50 feet in 2 seconds. Wind shear tears at the rotors. Rain hammers the windscreen until visibility drops to nothing. She flies by instruments, by feel, by instinct honed over 5 years of pushing limits that other pilots respected too much to test. Lightning splits the darkness to her left. Thunder rolls through the airframe. The altimeter spins, up, down, correcting constantly as the storm tries to swat her from the sky. Her hands never stop moving. Small adjustments, constant recalibration, dancing with chaos at 140 knots. The radar shows her the eye, still 30 miles out. The downed cargo plane's emergency beacon pulses weak but steady. She locks onto it, fixes it in her mind like a star to navigate by. 20 miles. The wind shear intensifies. Downdrafts drop her 100 feet at a time. She fights for every inch of altitude. Sweat runs down her spine despite the cold. Her shoulders burn from the constant wrestling match with the controls. 10 miles. The storm screams. The Seahawk shudders. Something in the instrument panel flickers and dies. She doesn't need it. She can feel the aircraft now. Every tremor, every gust, They're one system, her and the machine, fighting together against physics that want them both dead. 5 miles. The eye wall appears through the rain. A curtain of water backlit by lightning. She aims for the darkest part, where the rotation is weakest. Threads through. The Seahawk spins once, twice, before she corrects. Then, she's through. Into the pocket of calm. The cargo plane floats below, half submerged, sinking slowly. She can see figures on the wing, waving, desperate. She brings the Seahawk down fast, hovers 10 feet above the churning water. The rescue basket deploys. 3 minutes per person. She counts them off, pulls them up one by one. The cargo plane settles lower with each minute. Water reaches the windows, then the doors. The last person, the co-pilot, jumps for the basket as the plane gives its final shudder and slides beneath the surface. 8 souls, all aboard. She doesn't wait. Climbs hard. The eye is collapsing. She has maybe 5 minutes before the storm closes completely. The Seahawk, overloaded now, struggles. She coaxes every ounce of power from the turbines. Climbs, pushes back toward the edge. The eye wall takes her again. Worse this time. The added weight makes every gust a death sentence. She loses 100 feet, gains 50 back. Loses 200. The ocean rises up to meet her. She can see individual waves now. White caps, foam. Her hands blur across the controls. Throttle full. Collective, maxed. The Seahawk screams in protest. She screams back, refuses, will not let this storm win. Not after coming this far. Not with 8 lives depending on her. The altimeter climbs. 50 feet, 100, 200. The waves fall away. She bursts through the eye wall into rain-lashed darkness that feels gentle compared to what she just survived. The base beacon appears on her instruments, a straight line home. She follows it, brings the battered helicopter down soft, sets it on the flight line like placing an egg in a nest. The moment the wheels touch, security vehicles surround her. Officers pour out. Novak storms across the tarmac, face purple with rage. She shuts down the turbines, steps out, stands at attention while he approaches. But the 8 people from the cargo plane are climbing out behind her, shaking, crying, alive. They crowd around, hands on her shoulders, voices overlapping with thanks. Novak stops 10 feet away, stares. His mouth works but no sound comes out. Behind him, more vehicles arrive. Admiral Chen, base commander. She walks past Novak without looking at him, studies Olivia, studies the survivors, studies the Seahawk, battered but intact. Her expression reveals nothing. Lieutenant Kaine. Her voice carries across the flight line. You violated direct orders. Yes, ma'am. You risked millions in equipment. Yes, ma'am. You demonstrated insubordination, recklessness, and complete disregard for chain of command. Olivia says nothing, keeps her eyes forward, waits for the end of her career. Admiral Chen steps closer. You also just performed the most extraordinary rescue operation I've witnessed in 30 years of service. She looks at Novak. Captain, I'll expect your incident report by morning. Make sure it reflects what actually happened here. She turns back to Olivia. You're grounded pending investigation. But between you and me, Lieutenant, I suspect this investigation will conclude that your judgment regarding weather windows and rescue feasibility was superior to that of your commanding officer. At which point, we'll need to discuss your promotion to captain and your transfer to the training command. We need instructors who can teach the next generation what real flying looks like. Novak's face goes from purple to white. He turns, walks away without another word. The crowd around Olivia swells. Pilots, crew chiefs, even the 8 survivors from the cargo plane. Someone produces a camera, starts documenting the moment. Admiral Chen shakes her hand. Welcome to the legacy pilots, Kaine, the ones they tell stories about. 3 months later, Captain Olivia Kaine stands in front of a classroom. 40 young pilots stare back at her, She puts up a weather radar image, a storm system, rotating, dangerous, exactly like the one she flew through. This is what we call an absolutely unacceptable rescue scenario. She begins. According to standard protocol, what should the correct response be? Hands raise. Abort the mission. Stand down and wait for conditions to improve. Request additional resources. She nods. Correct. All textbook answers. She pauses, looks at each face. Now let me tell you about the day I ignored every one of those protocols and saved 8 lives doing it. The room leans forward, every eye locked on her. She tells the story, not to glorify insubordination, but to teach them the difference between following rules and understanding when the rules fail. To show them that sometimes the right choice costs you everything you've built, and sometimes, rarely, the world recognizes that sacrifice for what it was. Courage, pure and simple. When she finishes, the questions flood in. Technical details, weather analysis, risk assessment. She answers each one, helps them understand not just what she did, but why it worked, the calculations that made it possible, the skills that turned desperate odds into survivable ones. After class, a young lieutenant approaches, female, eyes bright with determination. Captain Kaine, I just want to say, you're the reason I joined this program. Olivia smiles. Thinks of Novak, now shuffled to a desk job at some forgotten outpost. Thinks of Admiral Chen, who saw past the insubordination to the skill beneath. Thinks of 8 people alive because she trusted herself more than she trusted caution. Then let me give you the best advice I know, she says. Learn every rule. Master every protocol. Know them so well that when the moment comes, and it will come, you'll understand exactly which ones to break and which ones will save your life. The young lieutenant salutes. Sharp, precise. Olivia returns it, watches her walk away with the same fire she remembers carrying. The same certainty that flying matters more than anything except the people you fly to save. Outside, through the window, a helicopter lifts off, climbs into a cloudless sky. She watches it rise, remembers the weight of the storm, the scream of the wind, the moment she chose to fly anyway. She'd make the same choice again, every single time. If you have enjoyed this story, tell YouTube to send you similar stories by subscribing to this channel, liking the video, and leaving a comment.